Hello, welcome to this session on Advanced Organizer Model in Instruction. An advanced organizer is a model used to introduce a lesson topic. It illustrates the relationship between what the students are about to learn and the information they have already learned. By using an advanced organizer to link the new information to old information, the new one can be remembered more easily. An advanced organizer is not a summary or review of a previous lesson. It also doesn't provide a structure for the current lesson. Instead, it provides a structure for student thinking. It acts as a conceptual bridge from the old information to the new information. Let us have a deeper understanding of the model. Advanced organizer model, which belonged to information processing family, was developed by David P. Ausubel. The model is developed based on the theory of meaningful verbal learning formulated by Ausubel. Piaget's conceptual schemata greatly influenced Ausubel in his researches in the field of educational psychology and cognitive science. His theory of meaningful verbal learning deals with three concerns. They are how knowledge, curriculum content is organized, how the mind works to process new information, learning, and how teachers can apply these ideas about curriculum and learning when they present new materials to students, instruction. Meaningful situations and processes are essential for learning to take place. Materials have to be related to each other and logically sequenced to enable the learners to learn them in a logically coherent way. For this, the learners need to be provided with the opportunities to access and structure ideas that can subsume the new material to be learned and incorporate them into their cognitive structure. According to Ausubel, learning is based upon the kinds of superordinate, representational and combinatorial processes that occur during the reception of information. The Ausubel's advanced organizer model is a deductive information processing model. Before proceeding further, let us be familiar with a few terms used in the model. Ausubel uses two principles to organize curriculum and instruction: progressive differentiation and integrative reconciliation. Progressive differentiation. Progressive differentiation refers to the most general ideas presented first during instruction, followed by a gradual increase in details and specificity. Integrative reconciliation. To facilitate learning, an ideational linkage between the student's own cognitive structure and that of the topic to be taught needs to be created. The sequence of curriculum has to be organized in such a way that each successive learning is carefully related to what has been presented before. Integrative reconciliation simply means that new ideas should be consciously related to previously learned content. In integrative reconciliation, teacher attempts to make the logical relationship between ideas in the developing schema clear and explicit to the students. If the entire learning materials has been conceptualized and presented according to progressive differentiation, and then integrative reconciliation follows naturally. Progressive differentiation and integrative reconciliation increase the stability and clarity of existing ideational anchorage and ensures discriminability of the learning tasks. Advanced organizers. Advanced organizers are content which is presented in advance of some other content which is to be learned. The advanced organizer provides the learner with the conceptual framework on which he can connect the new material progressively from lesson to lesson. Let us see what advanced organizers are. Advanced organizers consist of introductory material presented ahead of learning task. They are statements which are introduced in advance of the learning material itself and are designed to help students learn and retain new material. The advanced organizer links the new material to more abstract ideas which already exist in learner's mind. It helps to organize the material as it is presented and provides a kind of conceptual framework into which the learner will integrate the new learning material. Thus, effective advanced organizers connect new information to existing schemata and provide students with a means to create new schemata. They are at a higher level of abstraction than the content they organize, and they subsume this information. Advanced organizer is the primary means of strengthening cognitive structure and enhancing retention of new information. The purpose of advanced organizer is to explain, integrate and interrelate the material in the learning task with previously learnt material. It discriminates new material from previously learnt material. The most effective organizer is that which uses concepts, terms and prepositions that are already familiar to the learner. It uses appropriate illustrations and analogies. Advanced organizers are organizational tools which use illustrations and analogies that help to connect the known to the unknown. They are frameworks for helping students understand study material. In short, an advanced organizer is a tool or a mental learning aid that helps students integrate new information with their existing knowledge, leading to meaningful learning as opposed to rote memorization. A means of preparing the learner's cognitive structure for the learning experience about to take place. A device for activating the relevant schema or conceptual patterns so that new information can be more readily subsumed into the learner's existing cognitive structures. Ausubel describes two types of organizers and identifies their optimal applications. They are expository and comparative organizers. Expository organizers. These organizers, which provide ideational anchorage and scaffolding for completely unfamiliar materials, are called expository organizers. This method follows the principle of progressive differentiation and integrative reconciliation. This will provide a holistic conceptual structure to which the learner can relate the new material. Comparative organizers. Comparative organizers are used most with relatively familiar material. They are designed to integrate new concepts with basically similar concepts existing in the cognitive structure. Yet, they are also designed to discriminate between the old and the new concepts in order to prevent confusion caused by similarity. Thus, familiarity with the new material is key to determining which type of organizer needs to be used. The exact form that an advanced organizer takes is dependent upon the nature of the learning material, the age of the learner and the degree of prior familiarity with the learning material. Meyer listed a number of characteristics of advanced organizers. They are typically a short set of verbal or visual information. They are presented prior to learning a larger body of information. They contain no specific content from the new information to be learned. They provide a means of generating logical relationship in the new material. They influence the learner's encoding process. Now, let us have a deeper understanding of the model. Focus. Focus refers to the goals or objectives of the model. Syntax. Ausubel believed that learning proceeds in a top-down or deductive manner. In a sequence of learning activities, the first organizer and its material should be hierarchically more abstract than succeeding ones, which get more specific and elaborate than the original ones. The activities are designed to increase the clarity and stability of the new material. The students work on the material as they receive it. They relate it with new learning material to personal experience and to their existing cognitive structure. The learners try to critically analyze and connect the existing knowledge and the new material to gather information. The learners and the teacher work together to clarify ideas, make comparisons across groups and apply them to new groups to construct knowledge. Ausubel's model consists of 3 phases: presentation of an advanced organizer, presentation of learning task or material, and strengthening the cognitive organization. Phase 1: presentation of advanced organizer. Phase 1 consists of 3 activities: clarifying the aims of the lesson, presentation of the advanced organizer, prompting awareness of the relevant knowledge. Clarifying the aims of lesson is one way to obtain students' attention and to orient them to their learning goals, both of which are necessary to facilitate meaningful learning. Teacher and students explore the organizer by citing essential features, explaining them and providing examples. It should not be lengthy, but must be clearly understood and continually related to learning material to develop integrative cognitive structure. It is especially important to prompt awareness of learners' prior knowledge and experience that might be relevant to this learning task and organizer. Phase 2: presentation of learning task or material. In this phase, the learning material is presented as lectures, discussions, films or experiments. Maintaining students' attention and making the organization of learning material explicit to the students so that they have an overall sense of direction is the main focus of this phase. The learning material must be logically sequenced and it must be explicit throughout the presentation so that the students can see how ideas are related to each other. Phase 3: strengthening cognitive organization. During this phase, new material in the student's existing cognitive structure is anchored. Learning situation is more interactive in this phase. The successful acquisition of the material will depend on the learner's need and interest to integrate it with the prior knowledge and on the teacher's presentation and organization of the material. There are several ways to facilitate reconciliation of the new material with the existing cognitive structure. The teacher can remind students of the ideas, ask for a summary of the major attributes of the new learning material, repeat definitions, ask for difference between the aspects of the material. Active learning can be promoted by asking students to describe how new material relates to a single aspect of their existing knowledge. For additional examples of the concept or propositions in the learning materials, to verbalize the essence of the materials using their own terminology and frame of reference, to view the material from alternate point of view and to relate the material to contradictory materials, experience or knowledge. Principles of reaction. The teacher controls the situation. The teacher facilitates the discussion around the material. She points out the conceptual anchorages for the material and help learners to see the relationship between the organizer and the material that is being presented. The teacher's responses to the learner's reaction will be guided by the purpose of clarifying the meaning of the new learning material, differentiating it from and reconciling it with the existing knowledge, making it personally relevant to the student and helping to promote a critical approach to knowledge. Social system. The social system is a structured one. The teacher is the initiator and the controller of the class. Beyond the presentations of the organizer, in phase 3, the learning situation assumes a less structured posture and teacher and students can be very interactive. The teacher retains control of the intellectual structure, but it is necessary to continuously relate the learning material to the organizer and to help students discriminate new material and differentiate it from previous materials. The successful acquisition of the material depends on the learner's interest to integrate it with the prior knowledge and on teacher's presentation and integration of the material. Support system. Well organized material is very important for the effectiveness of the model. The effectiveness of advanced organizer depends on the integral relationship between the conceptual organizer and the rest of the content. Instructional and nurturing effect. The process skills that can be attained through Ausubel model is that of organizing the unstructured information into a hierarchical structure. The instructional effect is the conceptual structures and meaningful assimilation of information and ideas. The nurturant effect includes interest in inquiry and precise habits of thinking. Advanced organizer model in a language class. The prior knowledge of the second language plays a critical role in language comprehension. The important role in language comprehension has been supported by schema theory, which posits that spoken or written discourse becomes meaningful when the listeners or readers' prior knowledge interacts with the discourse. Information provided in advanced organizers in a language class tends to be cognate recognition, syllable morpheme information, contextualized meaning, chronological ordering, time frame reference, cross-cultural differences, redefinition and direction of discourse. Advanced organizers can include pictures, verbal descriptions, key vocabulary, pre-questioning techniques and cultural background knowledge. The more meaningful the advanced organizer, the greater the impact it has on the comprehension and retention of the content and language. Now, it is time to conclude the session. Whenever ideas or information need to be presented, renewed or clarified, the advanced organizer model is useful. Analogies and metaphors are frequently used as advanced organizers. Advanced organizer model can be applied to any material which can be organized intellectually. Advanced organizers help students recognize that the topic they are beginning to learn is not totally new, but rather can be related to something they are already familiar and comfortable with. This helps the students to better understand the new concept and encourage and motivate them to learn the material to come. Advanced organizer model is useful to structure extended curriculum sequences or courses and to instruct students systematically in the key ideas of a field. Before attending the next session, try to answer the following questions. Differentiate between comparative organizers and advanced organizers. How can progressive differentiation be effectively done in instruction? What is the significance of integrative reconciliation in learning? For English language class, plan a lesson based on advanced organizer model on a suitable topic. Here are some books for your references. The use of advanced organizers in the learning and retention of meaningful verbal material by Ausubel, Journal of Educational Psychology. Models of Teaching 6th edition by Bruce Joyce, Marsha Wales and Calhoun E. Allen and Bacon 2000. The role of advanced organizer on English language learning as a second language by Mohammadiya M, Moinkeb M and Bablank A. Thank you for watching this session. See you next time. Until then, goodbye.